So what else is going on?
My dog's legs aren't working, and I'm in a panic spiral about it. My car broke down. And
But everything else
it's
is looking...
2025. Happy New Year.
Yeah, but everything else is looking good.
Everything else is looking good. Welcome back to Secondhand Smut. I'm Paul. This is Angela. This is Secondhand Smut. I did the whole thing. I stole your line.
Thank
I
God,
stole your
though.
line. I stole your line.
No,
It's
I'm so
okay.
glad you
It's
did.
okay.
You can steal my line.
All right, we're back.
And we're back.
We're back. It's the new year.
And we're back.
2025.
Quick mention to everybody.
Just a little housekeeping.
Just a little housekeeping. Follow us, all platforms.
All platforms.
TikTok, I guess, for the next week and a half before TikTok goes away,
yeah.
and my life is ruined.
Yeah, okay.
I can't talk about it.
I
can't talk about it. But
yeah, but follow us while you can on TikTok.
Follow us while you can on TikTok. Follow us Instagram, YouTube if you want. That'd be great. Cool.
Yeah.
You know, that'd be cool too. Secondhand Smut everywhere.
Comment, like, subscribe.
Tell your homies about it.
Yeah, tell your friends about it.
Yeah.
We are definitely in our New Year, like, social media push. Like, last year was great getting started. What did we start in August?
I think so.
It was like, so we did good for like 4 months, but now I think back from the holidays, we are trying to get our names out there again. Self-promotion. It sucks. It's cringy. I hate it.
I hate
but
it too.
we got to.
Oh yeah. Oh, I've been reaching out.
And we've got plans to post more TikToks and stuff. You know, comment, let us know what you want us to read or talk about.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I'll read anything.
Yeah.
I literally will read anything.
You know, send us requests.
And, you know, may have probably read a lot of already the crazy shit, so.
Yeah. And you know what? I know I say this.
What?
We have not gotten one negative mean comment. And until we do, I don't think we've made it.
Yeah. I agree.
Like,
you're gonna put that energy? You put that energy out there?
Yes. No, until we have haters, what are we doing here?
I don't want anyone to be mean to me.
Oh, they be mean to me all day. You know what I mean?
True. We need that balance. At least we have that balance.
Yeah, like people say really nice things and give us compliments, how great it is all the time. That's fine.
Yeah.
What do you hate about us? Can you tell me?
Paul, you're gonna open a fucking can of worms with that.
You know what? I don't care. Any publicity is good publicity. And I'm trying to make us make it. And if people are talking about us, you know, do you hate my hair? Let me know. Watch us on YouTube. Tell me if you hate my hair.
Oh my God.
Don't say anything negative about Angela. But you can say anything you want negative about me. Trust me, I have heard it or said it to myself.
Well,
worse.
yeah, for sure. All right, well, thanks for that.
Yeah, no problem.
Just gonna give this thing a go.
Yeah, season finale.
Yeah, series finale.
Series finale. All the drones. I don't know if we can talk about that, actually.
The drones, the Cybertrucks.
The Cybertrucks, whatever.
Oh, no. I'll send you a video and you're going to be like, the Cybertrucks. Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Well, I'm just like Bethany Frankel.
What?
You're not.
No.
Dude.
You gotta
I
send me
thought
this.
for sure
well, usually I am.
already be on this.
Usually I am, but my feed is
nothing but smut.
Bethany
from Real Housewives of New York?
Yep.
She has been...
Well, she always has drama.
Blowing the whistle on the drones in New Jersey.
Really?
In an insane way where I said, I did not think that I was going to be hearing this high level of conspiracy and like good information, I think.
From Bethany.
I
could see it.
She got to the point where like her videos were getting...
shadow banned?
Yeah. So she stopped calling them drones.
Okay.
And her code word is Dior bags.
Oh my God.
It blew up. So then like now like the lingo has been like the Dior bags and like all these other like luxury brands to like
a Birkin.
Basically to be like, you know, drones, like China, aliens, like all of these things. Government, it's like the store. And it's gotten to the point where like that's like what the narrative is people talking about it as Dior bags.
No way.
So like she posted a video where she was like, I like whatever, all this, like the funniest part of this, like I didn't mean to do this, but because I just said Dior bag because it started with a D. He's like, and she's like, and now there are these like right-wing conspiracy bro dudes, you know, America hats that are on their TikToks with like talking about Dior bags.
No,
and so then like
she started a whole thing.
The Dior hashtag like for the Dior thing is like a bunch of conspiracy theories now. What? So she's like, she goes, this was no like shade to Dior. I love Dior. Oops. I just said it like that, but it's like hilarious that like all these gnarly fucking redneck crazy people who like would never know or say Dior bag are now like hashtag Dior bags.
That is crazy.
But yeah, I can't believe
That's
that you don't know
insane.
about
I have known nothing about that.
because you always are on the conspiracies.
Always. Anyway, I'm glad you told me about the Bethany Frankel thing.
Yeah, I
'cause
can't believe you didn't know that.
Oh, I'm gonna go deep dive.
I should have sent them to you. I just assumed you were getting them.
Yeah,
It's
no.
like I obviously am getting Bethany Frankel content all the time.
Obviously.
Like
I can't imagine how much of your FYP is Real Housewives.
it's not that much.
Oh, okay.
It's mostly Bethany Frankel
Mm.
and then Korean office worker lunches.
Oh yeah, I love
That's
those.
kind of my TikTok
God,
right
I love
now.
those.
I can't get enough of that.
I might be all right with my job if I had lunch like that.
That is fun. I think I had something else I was going to say, but I can't remember. Oh, we watched
Oh,
a
movie. Well, I didn't
Well,
watch.
yeah.
I s-
Collectively, you and I watched 35 minutes of that movie.
Yeah, dude.
And probably 25 of that was me.
Yeah,
And the rest.
which is funny because I would thought I would have been reversed.
No, I'm watching it. We watched Infestation? Infested.
Spider.
French spider movie.
horror film.
It's like if someone French made Eight-Legged Freaks. So it was horrifying. Sad.
Oh!
Depressing.
Dude,
Graphic.
I couldn't watch the spiders. It was too fucking much. I know.
I can't.
When I
just
close
started
my
thinking about
eyes,
it,
I can
feel it on my
picture
face.
them. Ugh.
I know we were like
The
driving
drains.
home last night, me and Taylor.
Yeah.
And I was like, don't fuck with me tonight.
Yeah.
Like, I know we were all having like a good time, but like,
Don't fuck with
and he's
me.
like, don't fuck with me. And I was like, I won't.
Was Taylor disturbed by it?
I think he kept feeling
Affected?
them on his
Yeah.
body. I don't know. I just think it's very normal to be terrified of spiders in a
It
deep,
is.
deep way.
Yeah. Well, and just
When they slow walk,
well,
when they slow,
to me,
ugh.
Well, and these-
Ugh,
and
it's
these-
on me.
I know.
Oh my god.
and these spiders clicking and clacking.
They were
They were
dude.
clicking
They
and
were
clacking.
like the Signs aliens, but fucking spiders
Oh,
and horrifying.
that movie
movie
was-
was horrifying.
Yeah, if you want to watch a
actually.
fucked up
But
movie
it
about
was
spiders,
good. It was like
watch
well
it.
made and like someone
It
like
was.
wrote that movie and made it good.
Yeah, it was a good movie.
Yeah, I'm not gonna watch it again.
Fuck no,
Ever,
dude.
probably.
Fuck no, I'm never gonna watch that movie
No.
again.
One
Hell
and
no.
done.
Yeah, and if I would, it would be in a group of 15 people. Actually, I didn't even watch it to begin with.
The only way I would watch it again is if
I
I got my brother to watch it,
Yeah,
because he would be ruined.
yeah, that would be amazing. Here, make him watch it. That would be fun.
He would get so mad because he doesn't know how to process emotions other than anger. So he would just be like scared and like freaked out, nervous, and just
And
be
then just
like,
get pissed, Hulk
like,
out.
punch something. Yeah. So
That's funny. Yeah, that movie was nuts. All right, well, let's get into it.
yeah, what are we doing?
Um,
Oh, actually, I do remember what we're doing today.
Yes.
Strictly professional.
Strictly professional. There, I'm going to warn you right now, Paul.
Look at all these colored tabs. That's new.
Oh, yeah, I'm starting to do annotations in my books.
Ooh.
It's just, like pink is smut. I haven't color coded the other ones.
Oh, I was like, what's green?
Actually, you know what? Not all of these are smut, though.
Some of them are just
Some
whatever.
I just was like, whatever, I don't give a fuck. I just wanted to warn you about this book. The back is really long.
All right,
so-
maybe I'll browse
yeah.
it.
Anyway, Strictly Professional by Kathryn Nolan. Kathryn.
Not a fan of that name, but we can keep going.
Yep. First book I've read of hers, and I tell you, we'll be reading more.
Okay, because I kind of thought that Strictly Professional was going to be lame.
Well,
Because the name is so like one tone.
we'll see by the end of the episode.
Okay. Yeah, this is a novel in itself.
The back is a novel in itself, so I don't know how much you want to read.
Okay, I'll just read and then whatever.
Okay.
What have you accomplished with your business school mentor so far? Oh, mentor. I do
mentor-mentee.
like mentor-mentee stuff.
Yeah,
but
I do
that's
too.
because I have daddy issues. Oh, developed a strategic marketing plan. Cross out. And then 2, pined for him. 3, denied my feelings for him. 4, dragged him into an alley and had my way with him.
I mean, yeah.
Hey!
Just
But
read.
those ones aren't crossed off, so
Or
she hasn't
I can
done
read
that
the
yet.
back.
No, I'll read the back. Roxy Quinn. Has this been someone else's name before?
Oh, Paul, they're
Elle
all
named Roxy
they're
Quinn.
all
Okay.
everyone's names.
Thought she'd never see Edward Craven's side. Cravendish. I actually kind of can't read it.
I know, it's very. Do you want me to get you like a fucking your
Dude,
phone
I need
flashlight?
readers. I need readers. I'm 32 and I need readers.
Order some on Amazon. They're real cheap.
Ugh, I need cool looking ones though. Okay.
Are you sure you don't want me to read it?
Like cat eye one. Sorry. No, I'm gonna read it.
Cat eye. Please do not get fucking
You want
cat
me
eye
to gay it
readers.
up over here. I want to look like a librarian from the 50s.
You will put it on a chain.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Never thought
It's
she'd
Cavendish,
see-
by the way.
Okay, because I honestly can't read past the end. Cavendish, the third.
Okay, maybe start over though, because we just.
Okay. Roxy Quinn thought she'd never see Edward Cavendish the third again. The wealthy English Hotelier. I swear to God, I went to college.
I know you did.
I just don't say things out loud. How do you
Hotelier,
hotelier?
hotelier.
Hotelier.
He owns hotels, you know?
Yeah, hotel owner. Had wandered into her tattoo parlor, slightly drunk and brokenhearted. You shouldn't give drunk people tattoos. Roxy judged him on the spot, too polite and reserved for her punk rock taste. But Edward was more than just a handsome stranger with a sexy accent. He was a man desperate to unleash his secret desires. After a night of exquisite passion, Roxy sends Edward back into the night. She has no time to be tempted. The pink squigglies are really
it's
hard.
It's really hard to read. I don't blame you. It's not like a you thing.
Thank God. By his charming wit when her business is failing and she's struggling with her MBA classes. Besides, they couldn't be more wrong for each other. That's all I'm going to read.
That's fine. That's all you need. That's all you need to read.
Because there's another like 2 worth of that.
I was like, Jesus Christ. Yeah. We need to put the entire book.
So it's a cool punk rock tattoo chick who runs her business but is also trying to get her MBA at night or during the day, whatever.
When she has time.
When she has time. And then this is a business savvy English handsome man who's straight laced.
Yep.
All right, that's not what I thought it was going to be.
No.
You know, I thought it was going to be like a boss and secretary thing.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. So apparently this author, Kathryn Nolan, is known for writing MMCs with filthy mouths. And she is.
Oh.
And you know how I feel about
I
filthy mouth.
know.
Who doesn't? So this book, true romance novel.
Okay, love.
4.75 stars. Was this close to giving it 5.
We have had the past like 3 or 4 have all been like 5 stars almost.
Books that I fucking love.
Yeah.
Which I'm grateful for.
Yeah.
And Spice, this is so stupid. I put 3.9.
That's okay.
So it's like almost a 4.
Yeah.
But it kind of should be a 4. And I'll tell you why.
Okay.
So let's get into the characters. We've got Edward and Roxy. Edward is, picture this, 6'2", brunette, short hair but enough for you to put your hands in it, British, English. He's 35.
I'm in love. That's
my man.
That's my man
That's
right
what I
there.
want.
Yeah, what's going on?
Comes from money. His father.
Even more in love.
Yep, money.
Money.
And then we've got Roxy. She's covered in tattoos, 1 full sleeve, 1 half sleeve, all over her chest, pierced septum.
Oh, we know her.
Nipples.
We know her.
Pierced clit. She's 30. Blonde, long blonde hair. She looks like that. Those are our characters. We are in NYC, baby. Manhattan.
Manhattan.
We are...
City that never sleeps.
Yep. We are... It's nighttime. Edward is out to dinner with his girlfriend, Emily.
Oh, he has a girlfriend?
She is breaking up with him.
Oh, he has an ex-girlfriend.
And she's saying, I've been sleeping with your best friend, Stuart, for the past 6 months.
Stuart.
Oh, God, of course, Stuart.
Would you ever go by Stuart if your name was Stuart?
I wouldn't go by Stuart or Stu. I'd be like, I'm changing my name.
I would go, what's my middle name?
Exactly. It better be David or something, you know?
I don't know.
I would go by David. Anyway, she's like, don't make a scene. She's like, they're prim and proper. They both come from money. You know, their parents arranged this thing. Like, they're trying to find a partner as kind of like a transactional thing.
Yeah, this is almost like a business marriage type thing.
So she's like, don't make a scene. Don't say anything. I've been sleeping with your best friends for 6 months, but we're breaking up and I want this to be amicable. And he's like, I don't have a choice.
Oh, you wanker.
He's just like, okay, let's break up. And so
I would be like, we're broken up.
Yeah.
You come here to tell me that? You're not breaking up with me. I'm breaking up with you, and I'm making a scene.
Yes.
I'm having a jolly old time.
And he would say that, but he doesn't. So, cut to later that night, we're seeing Roxy. She's in picture St. Mark's type neighborhood.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, that's what
And she's closing up shop. We find out that she bought this tattoo parlor off of the previous guy that owned it. He ran it into the ground. It's not doing well. She's trying really hard to make this tattoo parlor a success. She's also trying to get her master's in business on the side. She's got 2 employees that are like her homies that she brought over from and she feels really responsible for them. She's scared that they're not going to make any money. They have kids. She's worried. It's a whole thing. You know what I'm saying? So
has kids?
Her employee.
Oh, okay. I was like, whoa,
her employee has kids, and she's she's like, God, he's got to feed his family, fucking all this. So she's stressed.
I hate that.
Yeah. She feels responsible for her employees and running this business into the ground and all this stuff. She's stressed.
I would be stressed.
Oh, yeah. The weight of the world.
Yeah, my
on your
cortisol
shoulders.
levels would be out of control.
For
They already are, but
sure.
even worse.
Your cortisol levels
My spare
would be
tire would be
bad.
doubled.
Spare tire.
That's what that's from, and that's all. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
For sure.
Yep.
I
If I
love
was less
that.
stressed, I wouldn't have this spare
You
tire.
wouldn't have a spare tire.
But I'm so stressed.
You got that spare tire.
Yeah, I got that spare tire.
So it's midnight. She's closing up the shop. It's like 11:55 and they close at midnight. So the door's still unlocked.
Ugh.
Okay.
Ugh.
She's there alone.
Comes in 5 minutes before it closes. That's
And
so annoying.
she hears the ding of the door and she turns around and she's like, we're closed. And it's Edward. And she's like, who the fuck is this he's in a suit, you know? She's like, what's going on? This looks weird. He's like, comes in. He's not shit-faced, but he's tipsy. I think it mentions in the book he had like 4 drinks or something.
Okay, puss.
And so he comes in and he's like, I would like to get a tattoo.
Oh, wait.
Or whatever, you know? And she's like, I'm not fucking tattooing you. We're closed. You're drunk. I'm not tattooing you.
You can't tattoo drunk people.
Nope, but
You
they
bleed
do.
like crazy.
Nope, but they do. Because besides that one, every other one I have, I was shit-faced drunk.
Well,
and they
I was going to say,
always tattooed
I
me.
did lie. And I was like, no. And
Yeah.
then not even halfway through, she was like, have you had anything to drink tonight? And I was like, maybe. A couple hours ago.
Anyway,
God, I want another tattoo.
dude, I do too. I'm ready. I'm trying to think. I think I might do something above the knee, on each knee.
Oh, bend here.
We're going to cut this. I've all but decided I'm getting my nipples pierced.
Oh, can we go together? Dude, I've been talking about getting my nipples pierced for like 3 years.
I'll do it. I'm not kidding.
I hate a flaccid nipple.
Yes.
Hate mine especially. I feel like they come to a point like Madonna. And I think if I clip them, they'll always be
they'll
hard.
always look good. I called Kaylee and I was like, where did you get yours done? I was like, how does it? I was like, I want to do it. Let's talk about this off camera.
Okay. I need them to do both at the exact same time.
For real?
I'm not, yeah. 1, 2, 3, you know? Send me home.
Yes. Anyway, okay, we've really veered off. Yeah. That's okay though. Anyway, so she's like, get out of here. I'm not going to tattoo. You're drunk. He's like, I just got dumped. I want to tattoo something that says, she was like, what would you even want?
Yeah, I just got dumped.
Yeah, she's like, what would you even, she's kind of taunting him. She's playing with him. And he's like, I don't know, give me a fucking heart with a cross that says fuck Emily or whatever underneath it. And she's like, I'm not giving that to you.
I'm like, okay.
Okay.
I'll do it.
And so she's like, she's like, sit down, I'll make you a pot of coffee. And so she makes a pot of coffee and gives it to him. And she's like tidying up and they're both drinking coffee. And he starts talking and he's just starts talking. He's like, I'm the son of a very rich man and he's trying to marry me off as a business transaction. I have no say in my life. And, you know, this girl just dumped me for my fucking friend who she's been fucking for 6 months. And she's like, yeah, I was cheated on too. And it fucked me up.
Yeah, who hasn't been? Grow up.
Right. And he's like, how do I get over this? And she was like,
fuck someone else.
Sex therapy. She's like, you just need to have a lot of sex with other people. Fuck it out of your system.
Yeah.
Sound advice.
Amen, Roxy.
Oh, she's a bad bitch. And then he's like, twiddling his thumbs. He's like, well, I've only ever had vanilla sex. That's all my partners have ever
Yeah, no
wanted.
one's ever hit me.
Yeah, no one's ever hit him. And she's like, well, is that what you wanted? You know, did you want vanilla sex? And he's like, no, I've always had these desires, but I've never had a partner that
like
would...
what? Like spit in my mouth, slap me, tie me up? Or does he want to spit in her mouth, slap her, tie her up?
You'll find out.
Okay.
And he's like, no, but I have these desires that I've never been able to act on. And he asks her what her tastes in sex are. And she says, I like sex to be intense. I like pain, toys, restraints, spanking, dominance, submission.
Pegging, for sure. I'm feeling a Pegasaurus.
And she's like, he goes, which do you like better, dominance or submission? I like both. I like to be
she's
dominant
a switch.
and submit. Yeah. They keep talking and she's like captivated by his English accent. She's starting to get attracted to him.
Immediately.
Especially now that they're talking about sex. And
yes.
She's like, what would it be like to be with this prim and proper man? Kind of like a corruption thing.
100%.
You know?
100%.
I'd like to see what he looks like when he loses control. And then they find their knees like touching, you know, and then he like puts his hand on her knee and then like takes it away. And then she just like puts her hands on him and was like,
come here,
and
baby
doesn't
bird.
fucking move. Yeah. And so they like have this moment, they like look at each other and they're like, the air is crackling and fizzling between them. You know what I'm saying?
I'm super into that.
Uh-huh. And he keeps calling her love because he's British.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh,
oi, love.
yeah. Yep, just like that. So she asks him, do you like the same things that I like? Edward seemed to gather his courage, brow furrowed. But then he leaned forward, running the tip of his nose along the side of my neck. I shivered. And then he closed his teeth around the tender skin of my throat and bit me so hard I almost climaxed.
Oh, so he's a fucking freak.
Uh-huh.
Oh, he's a freak.
And then he whispered in her ear, I think I do, love. But it would be my first time like this, the way that you like it.
Oh, so he's obviously been picturing it.
Uh-huh.
He's got it rehearsed.
Her eyes fluttered, closed in happiness. A virgin, so to speak. Except Edward was all coiled muscle and his low growls next to me, and something told me he wasn't going to need much instruction. She looks at Edward. After tonight, Edward, I said, yanking his tie so hard he hissed, you're not going to remember Emily's name. You're not even going to remember your own goddamn name.
Whoa, dude, this is hot.
In response, he reached forward, nothing tentative in his movements, and gripped the back of my head, pulled the small hairs at the base of my neck between his fingers, trapping me. Roxy, darling, he said, brushing his lips against mine. After tonight, I'll be the only name you remember. Boom.
He must be drunk.
And then we get 50 pages of smut.
Dude!
50 pages of this fucking sex scene in this tattoo parlor.
Going to how? So I mean,
Okay.
So what is he fucking biting, slapping?
So yeah, so it's I mean, it goes.
Do you know who I want to picture him as?
Switches. They're
Oh,
both switches.
that's such a good combo.
It's such a good combo. So he's doming, she's doming. There's a power play. They're both submitting to each other, and it's fucking crazy. They fuck for like over the span of from like midnight to like 4 a.m.
Oh my god, exhausted.
Yeah. Oh, exhausted. Let me see.
Does he have work in the morning?
Well, yeah. Yeah, I mean, they fucking ravish each other for 50 pages.
Yeah, what a way to meet.
And then, so, at the end of the night, they're both laying on the ground in a puddle, and he's like, you sure you won't tattoo me? And she's like, well, what would you get a tattoo of after all that?
Her bite mark.
And he's like, he stands up, and he's like, all hell Queen Roxy.
On my ass.
On my ass. And so, yeah, so that's what happens. 3 months later.
Oh, hello.
Yep. Edward is out to eat with his parents. They have come over from England to stay in the hotel that they own.
Yeah.
And he runs for 3 months. They do this every year to plan their annual gala. And the thing with Edward is his parents own these hotels, but as part of the inheritance for Edward to be able to own this hotel instead of them, he has to marry an approved woman. Part of his trust is the stipulation is you have to be married.
Can you do that?
Apparently, because the last 15 smut books I've read
are
all marriage of convenience because of inheritance or trusts. I don't know if it's just a smut book thing.
But yeah, I was like, if that's like a legal thing, I feel like we should not be able to do that.
Yeah, for sure. Lots of arranged marriages
because
in
it just
these
feels
books.
like that's very like subjective.
Well, it's just the parents want control and they want to say I approve or don't approve. They say, well, now that you and Emily are clearly not going to get back together, we have a woman, Phoebe, that we would like you to meet, and we approve of your union, so make it fucking work. And he was like, okay, yeah. He is so submissive to his parents, it's insane. But he obviously has not stopped thinking of Roxy the entire time, yearning for her every single day. Cut to Roxy is talking with her sister, and they're in a venue called
the Red Room. What's her sister's name?
Fiona. They're in a venue called the Red Room. It's an old punk rock venue, and her parents are punk musicians from the 80s. They're at their parents' show.
So it's just a full opposite situation.
From Edward.
Like,
yes. Except for Fiona is a buttoned-up lawyer. Funny. But she's chill as fuck. Her parents are rebels, anti-establishment, all that shit. So she's talking to her sister about the mentorship program she's starting tomorrow, which is the last project she has to do to get her MBA.
I think I know what's about to happen.
Mm-hmm. Her sister's like, oh yeah, have fun starting that tomorrow. She's like, anyway, still no word from that crazy kinky English guy that you fucked 3 months ago?
Yeah.
And Roxy's like, that was just a one-night stand. And her sister's like, we both know that wasn't just a one-night stand. You have not talked to a single man since then. She's like, whatever.
Whatever. Shut up, sister.
Next day, Roxy's in her class, and her professor's like, all right, everybody, here's your mentors. We're going to partner you up. And Roxy's mentor isn't there. And she's like, what the fuck is going on? 30 minutes later, In crashes Edward.
What's he late for?
Maybe it says, I can't remember. He's like, oh my god, I'm so sorry.
Oh, sorry for being tardy. Please pardon my tardiness.
And the professor's like, it's fine. Roxy Quinn, this is Edward Cavendish. You guys are going to be matched up. And they look at each other and they're like,
I'm like, do you want to go?
right?
Do you want to go fuck in the bathroom?
Yeah. She's like sliding off her chair.
Yeah.
And they're just like, oh my god, what the fuck? This is so crazy. What the fuck? And she's like, what are you doing here? And he's like, I do this every year. This is like a passion project of mine. I love volunteering here and working with men.
Oh, what a sweet, sweet man.
Uh-huh. And he's immediately like so sweet to her. He's like, you know, we don't have to do this. This is going to be weird. We don't have to do this. And she's like, no.
She's like, yeah.
She's like, no.
I'm like, you mentor me, I'll mentor you.
Yes. So she's like, we can do this. We can stay together. We can be strictly professional.
Boom. Title drop.
Yep. And he's like, they leave class and they're walking in New York City and they're like in front of the subway.
Everyone's always walking.
And she's like, before we are strictly professional,
let's get unprofessional.
I just wanted to ask you, are you back with Emily?
Yeah.
Did you ever get back with Emily?
With that bitch Emily.
And he was like, no. And he was like, I haven't been with anyone since you. And she stays quiet. She doesn't say anything.
But she loves it.
Uh-huh, obviously. And then she's like, well, and then she would, before that, she was like, well, did you do the sex therapy? And he was like, no, obviously.
I thought she was the sex therapy.
Well, she was that night.
Okay.
You know?
Oh, did you go fuck around the town?
Right, yeah. She's like, did you ask
okay.
me, like,
Yeah,
did you take my advice?
Yeah.
Did you go fuck? And, he was like, I haven't been with anyone since you. Mic drop. Later that night, she's at home. She's running through her financials. She's just, going through everything. Panic, she's like freaking out about her business.
Me every night.
And we see that she's got like 2 cats running around and she's got like a 3-legged pit bull and she's just got like all these pets. So we're just getting to know her character, who she is,
she's
what she
sweet
does.
under all those tattoos and
Thank you, Paul.
Dom stuff.
Thank you, Paul.
She cares.
We find out that she volunteers at the like Long Island Animal Shelter. It's a no-kill shelter.
She loves animals because people are awful.
Exactly. And she can't stop adopting all the old ones that are about to die.
Okay, so she's got one of those like Angel of Death things going.
Yep. Cut to Edward is out to lunch with his friend, Elliot, who is another hotelier.
Is he British?
He's also British.
Oh, yeah.
And he's described in this book as a big, broad, black, fine specimen. Defined in this book.
Hello.
Yep. And so they're supposed to be like rivals, but they're not. They love each other. They're best friends. And they are in similar situations. His parents are trying to marry him off, just like Edward's parents are. But the problem is Elliot is gay.
I smelt that coming. I could smell that coming.
Your face just...
Yeah.
I knew you were going to love that.
And I bet he is in love with our fucking homeboy.
He could be, but it's not like that in this book. But he could be,
Yeah.
So...
Who thinks I was straight dudes if you don't want to fuck them? One-on-one? No thanks.
I mean, true. You're right. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
He has told his parents that he prefers men, but his parents are like, I'm not listening to that. You will marry a woman, and you won't get your inheritance until you marry a woman.
I'm like, I'm going to marry that woman, and then I'm going to kill both of you, and then I'm going to divorce her.
Yeah.
But I'm going to set her up.
For sure.
I'm not a dick.
For sure.
Set her up.
Yes.
But I'm just letting you know.
You're fucking dead.
That you're just making me plot your death.
Yes.
So.
And that's a good
that my
way to
life
think about
doesn't get to start until you die. So.
And that,
watch out.
I could see that happening.
Yeah.
Obviously, 3 months ago, Edward had told Ellie about Roxy, the woman who gave him the best night of his life. And now he's telling him, like, this is my fucking mentee.
Yeah.
And Elliot's like, you're fucking done for, man.
I would be so hyped up for this if my friend told me this. I'd be like, you are about to have like the best, craziest, volatile time.
Yes. Guess how long the mentorship is?
3 months.
3 months. That's a long time.
Yeah.
Okay. So
it's a semester.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, like, 3 months? A lot of shit can go down in 3 months. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So, okay, so now we're back at Edward. He's in his hotel, and he is about to go into a board meeting. And his father's attending this board meeting because his father's there for the next 3 months. And we find out Edward cannot speak in front of people. He cannot do public speaking. He stutters, bumbles over his words, shakes. Like, he blacks out while he's talking. He's like, I don't know what I'm saying.
Maybe it's because he's had such intense, critical parents that won't let him make any decision for himself. That's why he can't handle people looking at him.
So lo and behold, he's giving his board meeting and he's fumbling and it's bad and it's awkward and it's horrible. And his father's like, sit down, Edward, let me fucking take
My
over.
disgrace of a son.
Uh-huh. And then after the board meeting, everyone leaves and his father's like, you are such an embarrassment. Your younger brother is better than you are.
Oh, no.
You should be embarrassed of yourself. And Edward just sits and takes it and he's like, yes, father, I'm sorry. I don't mean to stumble over my words. Like he's just like crumpled under his fucking parents.
Yeah, his parents have done a number on him.
And then his father and mother start ordering him around. His mother comes in and starts saying all this shit about the gala. She's like, well, hopefully it's better this year and we won't be disappointed by you like we have been in years past. Meanwhile...
All right, cunt.
Yeah.
Why don't you get back on the fucking boat, go across the pond, leave me out of it. Are you kidding me?
Yes.
I don't do good with parents that are mean because I would never put up with it.
Right.
So like...
And he just lies down and takes it. Meanwhile, his hotel profits are up. Business is booming. In fact, the reason why his little brother is so successful is because Edward's given him these ideas. Uh-huh. And his parents have no fucking clue that he's the one helping his brother.
Normally, I'm like always on the younger brother side.
Oh, his
as a younger brother.
Yeah,
but
his brother's a prick.
I'm not liking this one.
No. And his parents just have no clue and they just treat him like shit. Because he's 35 and not married and his younger brother's 30 and married and has inherited and all this stuff. And
I get it.
Mm-hmm.
I get that.
So we find out that he's like desperate for their approval, but not only for that, he wishes his parents loved him. Very sad.
Yeah, don't we all?
So now it's time for him and Roxy to meet up for their first meeting. And he goes to her tattoo parlor and he's
back to the scene of the crime.
Back to the scene of the crime.
Damn.
Whoa. Heyo.
That would, I'd be like, I guess we have sex right now.
Yeah, well, he walks in.
I have sex in this room.
Well, he walks in and he sees like this big burly guy, her friend that tattoos there, standing behind the cash register. And he's like, oh man, I did crazy shit on that fucking.
Where you're touching right there?
Uh-huh.
My nuts have been.
Yeah, her ass spread open.
Yeah,
all the shit.
I ate it.
Mm-hmm. He's immediately so sweet to her. He's just like, I've pulled all these reports. I have all this data of like, I know that there's two parlors, two blocks down. They're doing better business than you.
We need to
blah,
go
blah.
vandalize
like,
them. We need to Molotov cocktail the other competition.
That would be so
yeah,
cool.
he just gets crazy.
He would turn insane.
Yeah.
I would be there for that.
Yeah, he goes, the only way my hotels have ever succeeded is because of all of the like rats I release in the other ones. Like,
so he's just immediately sweet to him. Immediately sweet to her. He like slides his finger over her wrist at one point and then pulls away and they like have this eye contact and they're just like big elephants in the room, man.
Yeah.
They're not talking about it.
Yeah.
They're keeping it strictly professional.
How?
Uh-huh. Their feet are touching under the thing. He's like moving his foot. And that happens over the next couple of meetings. He does.
Yeah.
It moves kind of quickly. At her parents' house one morning, she's having breakfast and she tells her sister that Edward is her mentor and that he is the fucking kinky English guy. And she can't believe it's happening. And Fiona's like, there's no way you're keeping it professional with him. You are in fucking love with this guy. She's like, no, I'm not. I don't have a crush on him. I'm not in love with him. Blah, blah,
it's like
blah,
love's a strong word.
Well, you never, when you know, you know. Love at first sight, Paul.
No,
Love at first fuck.
I mean, sure, I get what you're saying.
Love at first blowjob.
But if anything, if you meet someone and you think you're in love with them automatically.
She doesn't think she's in love with him at this point. She's just like.
I was like, that is a red flag, an internal
instant
red
love,
flag.
Yeah.
That you go, uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
I need to look at me.
Yes. Instant love is a no.
Is a whoops.
Oops.
Yeah, they must be bad.
Yeah. They're a narcissist.
Yeah,
that's
they're a narcissist, and I'm in love with them.
Yeah.
Because I wish I could love myself the way they love them.
And I fear that that's the only way I'll ever love. I'm sorry I hate to say it.
Yeah.
But Taylor's not a narcissist.
No, he's not.
But are you? I'm just kidding. You're not at all, Paul.
Oh, little.
You're not
sometimes.
at all.
I'm like up and down about it. I'm like, I'm the greatest, I'm the best, I'm so smart, and then I'm like,
you're a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Disgust
no, you're
me.
not. You're not a narcissist. Anyway.
But I've dated fucking
yes
crazy narcissists. Like,
yeah,
next
and you can
level.
see it. Well, and you can see it, and it is true that attraction is fucking immediate.
Yeah, well, but it's so weird. It's because like they're so great, and then they like you, or they've like made you think that they're so great, and then them liking you makes like you feel so good.
Anyway, she's like, I don't have a crush on him, whatever. And they have a couple more meetings, and Edward goes back out to lunch with Elliot one day, and he's like, I'm infatuated with this girl.
Yeah.
Like, cannot stop thinking about her. And they have a couple sessions, like, she tattoos this woman who had breast cancer, and she had her double
Hero.
mastectomy. And she's like, so he sits and watches her for like, 3 hours doing this. And he's just like in awe of Roxy. And he's in awe of how her clients respect her and all this stuff. He's just like, I'm infatuated with this woman. And Elliot's like, well, tell your parents to fuck off and marry Roxy and have babies with her.
I'm like, tell your parents you're going to fucking suck
gay.
dick, bro.
Uh-huh.
Tell me.
And Edward's like, I would never do that. And you know why? Because of his inheritance. And he wants his parents' approval so bad.
I get so. I mean, I definitely get it because it's like if you had like money coming your way, like
like
not
$100
even
million.
like like not like $1 million,
right.
but like money, like
old
money would be hard not to want
for
to
sure.
get it.
It would be,
but I would just be plotting and scheming to trick them into thinking I'm doing what they want, and then not
doing it. It'd be tough.
But it's like also it seems like I don't know. Doesn't he probably have like a good enough resume if he's been running these hotels to like?
It's a good thought.
Hop to another place.
It's a good thought.
Okay. Okay.
Cut to, it is time for Edward to have his date with Phoebe, the woman that his parents have set him up with, that he's approved of.
Does she suck?
Yeah, she's nice. But he's just like out to dinner with her, and he's like, "This just ain't it. There is no chemistry. He's like, I don't know what to talk to you about.
Yeah.
I cannot talk to this woman." And then she's like, "Well, I'm friends with Emily. Emily and Stuart are massively in love, and they go to all the galas and events together, and blah blah blah."
What? You know what? This bitch has no manners.
Edward's like, why
would you bring that up to someone on a date?
Yeah, he's like thinking, why are you talking to me about that?
Like you're not supposed to talk about your ex on dates, but you're definitely not supposed to talk about their ex. Like,
yeah. And she's like, I'm friends with her. Anyway, so he like walks her out the restaurant, takes her to a cab, kisses her, is like, have a good night, very nice. He's very polite to her. And then he's just like walking, wandering around. He's like, what the fuck? And he finds himself outside of Roxy's apartment, which is just like a block down from her tattoo parlor above the business.
Dope.
And he like calls her and he's like, come to your window. And she like comes to the window and he's like in the street.
I love you.
He's like, Roxy, darling, what are you doing?
Darling. Oh, the darling is so funny.
Or love. He always says love or darling. And he's just like, well, I just had my date with Phoebe, the pre-approved woman.
Yeah.
And Roxy's like, well, how did it go? He's like,
well, I'm here.
Yeah. He goes, well, she wasn't you.
That would make my heart flutter. I would be like...
It made my pussy flutter?
Yeah! That'll make your pussy twitch or whatever.
That'll make your pussy throb.
Yeah, that'll make your pussy throb.
Who said that? Anyway, so he's like, she told me that Stuart is in love with Emily and they're together and they go out all the time now. And he's like, I'm fucking pissed.
How I feel is good for y'all. Like, leave me
and she's
out
like,
of it.
For sure. I don't give a shit.
I don't give a shit.
I don't care.
Good for them.
We're broken up.
Yeah.
Anyway,
those people don't exist to me anymore.
At all.
Yeah. Void in my life.
Yes. And so he's just like, I'm fucking pissed off. I'm not pissed off because it's her. I'm just like pissed off at this whole thing. And she's like,
take it out on me.
Well, it's normal for the anger. She's like, I was pissed off for like months after I got cheated on.
Oh, I'm still mad right now. I'm still mad about it.
18 years later,
yeah,
I'd still
I'll
be
never
pissed.
not be mad about it.
Yeah. And he goes, I guess, time and maybe sex therapy will help.
Could you give me some?
And she gets a flashback to that night, and she's like, oh, and her stomach rumbles. But then her pit bull comes like in front of the window and starts like barking
hobbles
at
over.
him. Yeah, hobbles over and starts like barking at him at the window. And he's like, what the fuck is that thing? She's like, oh, this is just Busy Bee. That's her name, Busy Bee.
Busy Bee? It's a mouthful.
It is a mouthful for a dog.
I'd call her BB.
BB. Anyway, she's like, yeah, I can't stop adopting all these old animals. You should see the farm I have in this house, blah, blah, blah. He's like, you have a heart of gold, don't you, Roxy?
Heart of gold and a golder pussy.
And a golder pussy.
Yeah, and a diamond pussy.
And she's like just about to invite him up, but he's like, thanks for listening to me babble. I should go. And like walks away. And they're just pining. They're pining for each other.
I kind of do love that part, though.
You have to build it.
You know what I mean? Like, it is always like...
It has to be there. You've got to have that pining, that yearning. I love all of smut books that I read where it's like insta-sex, but it's so much fucking better when there's pining and yearning and it's building. Because when it does happen...
It made it worth it, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Anyway. Okay, next day, she is shadowing him at the hotel. And
she finds out what a pussy is.
She sticks out like a sore fucking thumb. She's got fishnet stockings on, septum piercing combat boots. She's wearing a jacket that says "Eat the Rich" on the back. And this is like the Plaza Hotel times 10.
I love it.
Yeah.
Obviously, I love that vibe.
Okay.
I would probably have toned it down.
Yes.
And it's like, I'm not saying don't take your piercing out or anything. It's just like, why not a black skinny and like a shirt?
Totally. She just doesn't give a fuck at all.
Well, it's like, I'm fine with it, but it's like, you are kind of coming here to get information to learn.
This is a business. This is strictly professional.
Yeah, this is a professional place.
I would have dressed differently as well.
It's like, I wouldn't dress differently to go there as a person, like, but if I'm gonna go there and be like, I'm shadowing you today, and I'm like now representing this hotel in a way, I maybe wouldn't have gone that way. Which it's like, I know that doesn't sound rock and roll, and I am rock and roll, but
I'm with you on that.
I'm just saying, brother. Like, mentor wise, I would be like, you're just making it hard on your mentor.
Yes, yeah, but he loves it. He doesn't.
Well, of course, because he fucking hates his parents and anything he can.
Secretly, he's like yearning for their love or whatever. But they're like, he like sees her. They smile at each other. The air is sizzling and crackling around them, and
the front desk guy is just like, "Can I help you? What is happening?"
It's like, Edward.
Yeah, do you know her?
Truly. And so he's just kind of like, he takes her upstairs, whatever, into his big, huge office, and they're talking about marketing and advertising strategy, and she's really reluctant. She pushes back on a lot of the advice he gives her. I get that, because you don't want to sell out. For sure. She's like, I'm an old school punk rock tattoo parlor. Those other ones are hipsters. They've got fucking succulents in the window. Yeah. So she's like battling with this thing. He's battling with her. And she's like, I'm not going to compromise this old school vibe that I have. Like, the reason why my parents come here, all my old clients come here, there's like, you have to like work with me here. Well, yeah, don't compromise it, cultivate it. Exactly. Once they're done talking, they become very aware that they're in a building full of bedrooms. Well, she's wearing that's what if I'm in a hotel, I'm like semi-hard. For sure. Immediately walking in, I'm like, it's kind of like at the airport. I would say hotels and airports. Like, I'm immediately revved up, ready to go. Who wants to go secretly make the fuck out in the gender fluid bathroom? I will fuck you in the all airport family bathroom, whatever. You should see the gay apps. Oh god, I can't. The airport is popping off. I wish straight people would do that. Like, I am almost certain that there are gay dudes out there buying the cheapest plane ticket they can to go sit in the like departure bathroom. Wow. And just chug dick. Really? Yeah. Damn. Yeah. But yeah, airports and hotels. I mean, immediately. It's like travelers, like passing in the night. Yes. Like, let's fuck right now, and then I don't know. Okay, bye. Into it. So anyway, she's wearing a skirt. So after they have that like little bit of a heated argument about advertising, she like opens her legs. She goes, I'll advertise you. And then crosses her leg, and he's like looking. Fucking, what's that movie? What? Where she does that in the chair? Lots of movies. But that famous one. Are you talking about Secretary? No. I don't know. Is it a 90s movie? Yeah. I don't know. Whatever. And he's like staring, and he's like, panties on? In that. Panties off. Panties on? I can't remember. Fishnets. Fishnets. Yeah, so. But that's not covering anything. But, it's the gesture. Do you wear, like, if you were wearing fishnets and you weren't wearing underwear, would that be so weird? I think you should have something. I think it feels like it would be so weird. You should definitely have something on. Yeah. It's not breathable. You should definitely have. Too breathable. Good question. Thank you. So as he's like gawking at her skirt, boom, in fucking walks his dad. And she immediately sees Edward completely change. Straightened his back. Turn off. Ick. Getting the ick. That would be an ick for sure. It would be like one thing if he just was like professional and like masculine. Well, that's kind of what he did. But he did kind of look down. Oh, whatever you'd like, sir. Yes, okay. Okay, we'll just wait. So then in walks his dad, and he, strains his spine, blah, blah, blah. His whole demeanor changes. And his dad is instantly rude to Edward, completely ignores Roxy, like walks over to the glass, looks out the glass window, and is like, Edward, those reports that you gave me, they were all wrong, mistakes everywhere, blah, 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 blah. And then Edward's like, I'm sorry, father. And how was your date with that lovely woman, Phoebe? And he was like, Phoebe was a lovely girl. We had a nice time. Good. It'll do you right to keep seeing her. Blah, 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 blah. And Roxy was like, and the dad goes to leave. I know you're interested. I just can't. The dad goes to leave, and Roxy is like, I hope you know how sought after your son is in this mentorship program. Because eventually, right before he leaves, he's like, Father, wait, this is Roxy. She's my mentee. That's true. A little rude that you didn't introduce her. Yeah. And she's like, I just hope you know how sought after your son is in my mentorship program. And I'm very lucky to be working with someone so smart. And he's just like, scoffs at her and leaves and goes to the door. And Edward's like, thank you for saying that to me. You didn't have to do that. Thank you. Something I'm learning is that I have like very strong love-hate for British people. I think that's not just you. Okay, because it's like, if you're like
nice and cool
Uh-huh.
and you're British, I will fucking die for you. My D&D
But if you're
podcast,
a-
British,
Yeah.
I would die for them.
Yeah.
I would murder this man with my bare
But if you're a
hands.
snotty British cunt,
And there's no, I guess there's like no British person that I've ever seen and been like
yeah,
medium
I
feeling
haven't.
about you.
Yeah.
Either I'm like, I'll love you so much,
Yep.
I'll protect you with my life, or
Yeah.
like, I want to melt you in a volcano.
Dude,
like,
so I'm just gonna little sidebar. I work with a lot of people from London, and usually just email.
Yeah.
But like, quite a few times over the last 6.5 years that I've worked there, they have flown out, and every time they come in for meetings,
Are they not nice?
Oh, basement flooded.
Oh,
I'm
okay,
slipping
okay,
and sliding, and they're douchebags. They're just like gym bros, same as gym bros here,
But they're
British. And I swear to God, it does it for me. Anyway, so yeah, British people.
Yeah.
Polarizing. Okay, after she's met his dad, and he says, thank you for saying that to him, he tells her, he's so hard on me, and my siblings, my brother and sister, seemingly can do no wrong since they've been married off, and he approves, and I can't do anything right in this man's eyes. And she's just like, well, you don't deserve that, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Then he introduces her to various staff members, and she's taken aback by how nice he is and how much they love him. He knows them on first name, like janitorial people.
Yeah, he treats them as humans.
He asks about their kids.
Yeah.
She's just like, wow, this man is just so sweet.
Well, yeah, he is basement flooding me as well.
Yeah.
Right now. I do think it'd be like, because I love this.
He does have a hard body. Keep that in mind. Don't forget. And a filthy fucking mouth.
Yeah, hard body, filthy mouth, and an accent. Like, and like, I'll be so for real. I do like corruption stuff.
Me too.
And I think it's like, in the gay way of like, fucking straight guys.
Yeah.
I love fucking straight guys. Especially because like, I'm a top. So like, I fuck straight guys. And I love it. That British straight dad.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes. It's coming together.
He's always hitting me up. I'm always saying no.
What?
Who's got the time? It's seriously a time and energy thing. I'm like, you want me to like vacuum and like stop gaming?
And you come over here.
Yeah. And it's like, I fuck Taylor all the time.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's like,
yeah.
I have less motivation.
I feel that, dude. Okay, anyway, so now we're back to Roxy. He's over there. They're going over their plans. And it's just kind of more back and forth, more subtle looks at each other, some more slight touches, all this stuff. And then that night, her employee, Mac, the big guy who's got like kids and stuff, he's like,
hot?
I mean, he's like 6'5", bald, face tattoos, literally head to toe tattoos.
Okay, hot.
But I don't know his age, and he's got like he's got like teen daughters.
Age is just, you think, what do you?
I mean, yeah,
I fuck so many dudes with teen daughters.
I just get more like homey vibes from Mac. I don't know.
I'd fuck him.
You'd fuck him. Yeah, why not? Anyway, and so Mac's like, are you two lovebirds going to come to the show tonight? And invites Edward to Roxy's parents'
Oh my God.
show.
I'm
They're
already
putting on
there.
a show.
I'm already seeing it.
Uh-huh. And Roxy's like, well, yeah, you want to come? Like, I was going to invite you, but you want to come? And he's like, yeah, I'll meet you there. So later that night, she's talking to her sister Fiona, and Fiona's like, ooh, your British man's coming tonight.
Ooh,
Like,
your boyfriend's coming.
Uh-huh. Roxy's like, don't you fucking leave my side. Don't leave my side tonight.
Why?
In walks Edward.
Because if you do, I'll fuck him.
Well, that's her problem. She's like, if you don't leave, like, I'm going to fuck this guy.
Yeah.
And so in walks Edward. He meets Fiona, and Fiona's like, okay, I'm going to go. Bye.
Yeah, I was going to say, if I was Fiona, immediately I'd be like, all right, I actually have to go, but it's fine. And I'd look right at that fucking bitch.
Yep. She was like, have fun.
Yeah.
And so it's just Roxy and Edward at this point.
And he's all straight-laced and out of, like...
He's actually wearing, like, a...
Metallica t-shirt.
Say, like, The Cure or something. Or the shins. Like, British, old school.
Yeah.
And, like, a pair of jeans. And, which actually, I'm glad you brought that up, because it's a segue. So, they get to talking. She's like, let me bring you over to this little, like, alcove nook thing. And
talking area
where we can still see my parents, but I can hear you without having to scream. And she's like, you know, how were you as a teenager? I look at your shirt. Like, did you? He's like, well, I went to boarding school. He's like, and I was a teenager, but I never really rebelled. He's like, yeah, I was always pretty straight-laced. And they're just like getting closer and closer and like talking to each other. And it says in the book, she's like, in this moment, I never understood women who would ever say I would swoon over a man, but I'm swooning over.
Swooned up.
I'm
like, you better watch out. I'm gonna cook you dinner.
Yes. Like, you better watch out. I'm gonna cook you dinner.
You keep talking to me like that, I'm gonna cook you dinner, make you love me.
I'm gonna clean your house and have dinner on the table for you when you get home.
Yeah.
He's asking her like, you know, what do you want out of life? You know, because she's talking about this arranged marriage thing that comes up, and she's like, you know, how does that work for you? And he's like, well, what do you want out of life? She's like, I want what my parents have. I want to be married, and I want to have kids. I want to have a family, and I want all of that stuff.
So their whole thing is that like he's deceptively like kinky and like different and weird, and she's deceptively traditional.
Yes.
So they're perfect for each
Because
other.
they're perfect for
Okay.
each other. She says, before I'm married, before I find the one, I just think it's fun to fuck strangers.
Even sometimes when you find someone.
For you?
Yeah.
And he goes, well, I've really only done that once with you. Her pupils darkened, but she didn't move away. Did you not like it? I shook my head.
Should we try again?
Should we try again?
Do you want to try again?
Should we do it right now?
Yeah, a refresher?
Edward's
Yeah.
perspective. I shook my head, leaning closer. That wasn't the problem, Roxy. I liked it too much. He goes, tell me what's fun about fucking strangers, because wouldn't it be risky? You could take someone home that you have no chemistry with. I slowly stroked my finger down her throat, landing at her rapidly beating pulse. Who's terrible in bed? She goes, true.
And it happens.
Although I think you know enough about me to know I can command a man to do what I want. My finger slid down her chest, then up along the swell of her breasts, stroking, teasing.
You're my mentor.
Is that what you do, love? Take home someone you can play with, who you can make do your bidding? Back and forth roamed my finger, almost sliding beneath the fabric of her dress. It's not hard, she said. In fact, usually once I take my clothes off, men are like putty in my hands, free for me to bend to my will. I swallowed a
what's
growl
up.
at the memory.
The memory.
Sliding the tip of my finger over her hardening nipple, swiping it across so slowly. They did.
he just turns his head and belches.
Rubs his finger over her nipple and then just
You know,
burps.
burping is a compliment. It means the food was good.
He eats her pussy and then
He
just
burps.
burps. She's gonna
There's gotta
just
be
go
like,
down on someone.
well,
and then
because it's like
burp.
obviously there like has to be like a burping kink, because like I do know a guy that knows a guy that has a farting kink.
Okay,
So it's like
I've never heard of a burping kink. That's
there's gotta
funny.
be.
There has to be. Anyway, so they're getting hot and heavy, and Paul's burping. Next thing Edward knows is he's being drug out of the club by Roxy.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say like security or something.
No,
and I was like, whoa, no, drama.
Nope, by Roxy and
Into the alley.
into the alley.
Back alley butt slut.
Uh-huh. Okay, so he says to her, all hail Queen Roxy. There's also a big worshipping thing in this book, which I love, by the way.
Yeah, I mean all the like all hail stuff has
Uh-huh.
been.
Yeah. And she's like, it's a privilege to fuck me, Edward. Blah, 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 blah. And he's like, please tell me.
Please tell me I'm doing good.
He's like,
Please, for the queen.
yeah, he says, all hail Queen Roxy.
Obviously,
and she
he's
says
into queen stuff. He's fucking British.
Right. That's so true.
Duh.
And she's like, yeah, it's a privilege to fuck me. And he goes, obviously, because I haven't been able to fuck any woman since you, or think about anyone since you. I had Roxy's back against the wall, a mouth on mine a second later, crashing our lips together, hot and hungry. So they're just like all over each other,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. She's like, spread your legs. And she doesn't. And he's like, I said, spread your fucking legs. And he's like, you're going to make me work for this, aren't you? And then they just go into it's a whole,
Woo!
yeah.
You know what I will say?
What?
I like don't like when you're fooling around with someone and you're like kind of being like kinky, and then they're like, no, bratty.
You don't like brats.
I don't like brats.
Yeah.
Because I immediately take no as like, oh, like no.
Oh,
like
no,
we're
no,
done. And you
no.
know, like people that are like brats, like they want to tell you no and you make them say yes.
Yes.
And I am too awkward, or like I
Really?
can't read the situation enough to be like, do you mean like to
Oh, no,
stop?
no.
Plus it also like feels like a slight rejection. And
Really?
I can't have
Oh, damn.
any hint
Rejection.
of a rejection
Yeah.
during
That's so
sex.
interesting, Paul. I don't have that problem.
That's why I don't like brats. Like when people are like, make me. I'm like, I won't.
You won't be like, yeah, I'll fucking
No.
make you. Oh man.
I'll be
That's
like,
what
you need to not say make me. You need to be like, please do it to me, please.
Oh,
Beg
so you have a
for
begging
it.
thing.
I like, yeah. Oh, I do like
but
that.
yeah, but begging and bratting, they kind of go.
Well, that's like their whole switch thing.
Uh-huh.
Because like, yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you're a switch, you
Interesting.
can do both. But I don't like brats. I'm not a brat tamer.
Interesting. Anyway, he's like still talking to her, saying like crazy shit. He's like, I can't keep my hands off you, blah blah blah. I can't stop fucking thinking about you. He's like, every night I come on my fist thinking about you. And she's like, yeah. And he's like, please tell me you think about me. And she's like, gives in, and she's like, every night, every single night, I fuck myself thinking about you.
I renamed my
About us
vibrator
together.
Edward.
I've named my vibrator Edward. She's like, I'm always thinking about you, not just that night, not just sex, but I'm thinking about you all the goddamn time.
I want you to walk the dogs with me.
Uh-huh. And then that's so funny you say that. And then he's like, oh my God, me too. And then she's like, all right, good, now shut the fuck up and fuck me.
Yeah,
and then
hello.
They fook in the alley.
Mm-hmm. Oh, fucking
Finally.
yeast infection.
Why?
Because that alley's dirty, all this dirty dumpster air around. And you're fucking,
Yeah, I mean, it is New York City.
I can't think about that.
I don't want alley sex, dude.
The smell.
A dumpster juice.
I won't have alley sex in New York. I've had alley sex here in the great city of Denver, but
still gross.
It's not my favorite.
Yeah.
Well, it was good.
Okay, so they have sex finally. Next day, she like tells Fiona, she's like, "I had sex with him," and Fiona's like, "Ooh, buddy."
I'd be like, "Yeah, why do you think I left?"
Right? She's like, "Obviously." Okay, so now we're back to being strictly professional.
Great.
And she's shadowing him again. This time, he is having a board meeting, and he's like, "Roxy, you're gonna."
This is about to be the ultimate ick that you're ever gonna see.
And I need to tell you something. I am really bad at this. This is not a strong suit of mine, and I'm just already embarrassed. He does indeed start stammering over his fucking words. She's like sitting in the back, and there's these two douche fucks sitting next to her, and they're like snickering and making fun of him, and one like writes on a piece of paper, he's like, "What a fucking nerd."
Yeah.
And she can see it, and she gets pissed.
Roundhouse kicks that motherfucker.
And she's like, "Why don't you shut the fuck up and pay attention?" They just keep laughing, they keep snickering. And she raises her hand, and Edward's like, yes, Roxy, can I help you?
Yeah, you in the back?
Uh-huh. And she's like, I'm sorry, I can't hear you over these two having a fucking conversation next to me. And Edward looks at them, and he's finally stands up for himself a little bit, and he's like,
listen to me.
Shut the fuck up or leave, get out. And then he goes on with his thing, and it's fine.
And is he like not stammering as much? Like he's...
No, he's fine. He like continues, goes on. They shut the fuck up. And so the meeting ends. Everyone walks out. He grabs Roxy, goes to the door, and he's like, "Follow me."
We're fucking in this. We're fucking.
And he's like walking to his office. He like passes his assistant, and he's like,
"Cancel my meetings.
Cancel all my meetings.
Clear my day.
Clear my day."
That's hot.
He opens his door, and he's like, gestures for her to go in, and then he closes the door behind him and locks it. He saunters over to his desk chair, sits in his desk chair.
Whips his dick out.
Puts his hands behind his neck. Puts his hand
behind
his head.
I know.
And leans back. She's like looking like the king that he is.
Yeah.
She says.
Ooh.
He goes, "Get on your knees and crawl to my desk."
Gobble these nuts.
And she's like, "What?" I said, "Crawl on your knees up to the table. And don't make me fucking repeat myself again."
Eddie.
I know. She goes, "Yes, sir." I said, crawling up onto his desk and mimicking the fantasy I had in the beginning of this meeting. Not nodding, he crooked a finger at me and said, "Come." She goes, "I came."
Oh, I came.
Crawling like a supplicant to the edge of his desk. "Sit," he said, patting the space in front of him. She goes, "Did I make you upset?"
No.
He goes, "Quite the opposite, Roxy, quite the opposite." He peeled my knees open, slow as molasses. Letting the cool air caress my inner thighs. "You know those two board members have been a thorn in my side for months now, total fuckheads. And you, my love," he said, pausing to press a reverent kiss on the inside of my thigh, frightened them into silence.
I would be like,
she
when
goes,
you say "my love," do you mean you love me?
Oh my God, yeah.
That's
so
all I would be able to. Yeah. What are we? Sure. On your knees in his office, just like, what are we?
And she's like, "I thought you were going to punish me." He said, "No, I'm rewarding you." Then he starts like fingering her.
Yeah.
His finger curled, his thumb pushed, and then his tongue landed on my clit again. I squealed, attempting to close my legs against his head, but he snarled, a warning against my skin, and I stopped, spreading my legs further open. And so he's there, like he's fucking her, whatever. And then she comes twice, and then he's like, "So I've lost count. How many times have you come already?"
And she said twice.
And she's like, "Twice." So... And he goes, "That's pretty mundane. 2 orgasms seems a bit dull, don't you think?"
I'm like, "Yeah, it's really crazy. You lost count."
She goes, "What did you have in mind?"
3, 4, 5?
4. And then he just like fucks her. He like, goes crazy. He's like domineering, and
good for him for lasting that long.
For sure. No shit. And then she like, after her 4th orgasm, he goes, "What's this, Roxy?" Edward asked as he caught a tear with his finger. He was out of breath and rakishly handsome. Tie half torn off. His hair was a fucking mess. "Happiness," I said simply, at a total loss for words. My body felt wrung out and completely sated.
Wrung out.
Wrung out. You know, he smiles big and bright. He goes, I meant what I said, Roxy. Everything in my life before I met you was stable. It was set. Boring. And now what? I asked. Fireworks, a hurricane, total destruction of everything I've ever held dear. So they're falling for each other.
God, I do really get into the fantasy of just like coming into some straight-laced dude's life and like fucking wrecking it.
Yes.
But like not in like a mean way.
Well, see, I want to do that, but I want them to wreck me.
Well, yeah. Well, you're the straight-laced
Yeah.
one. You know, you're the one with
Yeah,
the routine.
right.
You know,
All I do is
yeah.
read and
Just
work.
read. You got your cat. You
Right.
know, you do need someone to come in and just
God,
fucking.
Jesus.
I don't even know.
Crash through the door.
Yeah, flies you somewhere cool.
I just want him to
Well, yeah.
corrupt me.
But I mean, like, it has to be grand.
You know what? You're
It's
right.
to shake up your whole life.
Fuck
It's
yeah,
not just
dude.
a fuck. It like has to
You're
shake
so
up
right.
your whole life so that you look back and you're like, I'm never going back to that.
Yes. Thank you, Paul.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
One day
One day,
we'll find him or her.
hopefully. The next day, he's with Elliot, and Elliot's like, "You're fucking in love with this girl. So
Obviously.
you need to figure your shit out."
Elliot goes, I'm in love with you,
yeah.
so I can tell that you're in love with her.
Then he, at lunch, like when Elliot's like, "You're in love with her," Edward like looks behind him and he sees his fucking mom with Phoebe out to lunch.
Oh, I thought it was gonna be with Emily.
I wouldn't be fucking surprised.
Yeah.
So he's like, "Hello, mother. Hello, Phoebe." Blah blah blah. And his mom's like, "Oh, Phoebe tells me that you haven't called her."
Yeah, it's weird that you did.
And
call
he goes,
her.
"Me and Phoebe can work that out.
Yeah.
I'll give you a call." He never calls her. Kind of in that moment, he leaves the restaurant and he's like, "God, should I just fucking end this with Roxy right now? Like, I'm never gonna be able to marry
if you're
her.
a coward piece of shit loser, you could do that.
I'm never gonna be able to marry her because my parents won't approve. Baby back bitch.
Yeah.
And she wants marriage and she wants babies. Like, I can't, you know." But he's like, "You know what? No, fuck it. I want her. I don't care if that's selfish. I'm not stopping this."
So the real problem in this equation is your parents.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like you both want the same thing and love each other.
Yeah. Okay, so this is from Roxy's perspective at this point. We're getting close to, we're in the last, like, 35% of the book. If Edward's mother was anything like his father, then both of his parents were complete assholes. Their love for him was contingent upon what he accomplished.
Yeah.
How good he made them look in the eyes of high society, and not because he was quite simply their son. Made worse by their self-imposed bullshit of mandating who he married by dangling his career dreams in front of him like a prize. All of this made my heart ache, made me want to take him home and keep him in my bed, show him what true affection could be.
Amen.
Even as a tiny voice in my head wondered if that meant Edward could never consider marrying me, a voice that was growing in volume. But I shook that voice away because watching Edward had given me a remarkable idea. She's like, "I'm never going to be able to marry this man," and I'm like falling for him,
Yeah.
but I'm fucking burying that thought deep in my mind. Never a good idea, by the way.
No.
So Edward comes over to the shop and he's like, he's like, "Do you want to do something
Anal?
spontaneous?"
Oh.
No, they've already done anal.
Okay.
They did it that first night they
Yeah.
met.
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
She's a down
He's
bitch.
like, he goes, "Can I have this?" With his thumb over her asshole. He goes, "Can I have this?"
Can I have this?
Uh-huh. And she goes, "Yes, please." And then they do it. Should have mentioned that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I know.
That's a good line.
Yeah, it is a good line.
That's a good.
Oh, it's a good line. So he's like, "Do you want to do something spontaneous today?" And she's like, "Actually, I do.
Get married?
I have something planned." And they get in a cab, and next thing he knows, he's at the Long Island animal shelter. And he's like, "Why did you take me to an animal shelter, Roxy? I know you like to volunteer here." She's like, "Because we're getting you a dog."
Oh.
And so we've get this like long kind of montage of them looking at all the animals, and he's going back and forth like, "Do you really think I should have a dog? Like, you know, do you think I can take care of a dog?" And ultimately she's like,
yeah,
"Yes."
you're a grown, functioning adult.
She's like, "You need this." And she says to him, "Dogs are wonderful because they love you unconditionally."
Exactly.
Dogs are wonderful because they love you unconditionally, I said, thinking of his parents, his frantic quest for their approval. "You don't have to impress them or make them money. They just love you because you're you." Edward swallowed hard. "And who am I?" "You're not a legacy, not a pawn for your parents to move around as they see fit. You're kind, loving, funny, charming, and you deserve all the love in the world." I'm like, "Oh."
That's so sweet.
He goes, "Do you really believe that?"
She is right. He does need a dog for
Yes.
that reason.
Yes. She goes, "I not only believe it, I know it," I said, reaching out to brush a strand of hair from his forehead, his eyes filled with emotion so pure I felt bathed in it, as if it were an alpine spring, crystal clear and shimmering in the daylight.
Oh my goodness.
"Thank you," he said.
Away with words.
Uh-huh. I thought that was really sweet of her.
That was really sweet. And it's like, she's good at reading people.
She's good at reading people. I was like, that's good for you to...
Very tattoo artisty.
Totally.
To like know how to read people.
That's true.
You know,
Yeah,
they see so many people
for
with all
sure.
their stories and shit.
Well, and tattoos, I mean,
Yeah,
really are
it's like
like a
intimate to get tattooed.
for sure. So yeah, so I thought that was cute. She got him a dog, and so they're like, okay, what dog should we get? And they stumble upon this old pit bull named
Oh,
Matilda.
not like an English Terrier or something.
No, Matilda like immediately warms up to Edward, and he's like, she's so cute.
Yeah,
And so they adopt Matilda. So they both have pit bulls now. Isn't that precious?
that is precious. And a 3-legged pit bull is cute too. That's
Cute,
what Roxy
very
has.
cute.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a shark with no teeth.
They like get Matilda, and then they go to the store. They get toys, food. They got all this stuff, and they like go up to his penthouse, and they're just giddy. They're just like on cloud 9
Yeah,
with each
dog
other.
high.
Then they make sweet, sweet love to each other, and this is the first time they're having sex. Sans condom.
Oh, we're back.
Bareback. She says, "I want to take you bare."
Yeah.
Love that.
Come dump.
Literally comes
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
They make love, blah blah blah, and still in his bed, she's like, "Oh God, I'm in love with this man."
Yeah.
And she's like, maybe there's a chance. So she's,
Is she gonna try and change herself to fit for
no,
him?
fuck
Good.
no.
Good.
Roxy would never do that.
I hope not.
Anyway, she's just having these thoughts. She's like, maybe there's a chance after all. And then they talk about her parents and how supportive they are. And he's like, you're just so lucky to have parents like that. And then she's like, how did you discover that you liked doming and subbing?
Porn.
Where did that happen?
My porn search history.
He goes, I'm going to read this to you. My friends took me to a private club one time when I was 30, so 5 years ago. We kind of just walked around and we're watching, and he goes, 2 women, he said, fingers moving from the back of my neck to the base of my hair, gripping. One a dom in full leather getup, looking regal, poised, writing crop in her hand. I'd never seen such a thing in my life. Had clicked around in it when I watched porn, but really truly had never seen it before. And at her feet was this gorgeous woman, submissive, on her knees and looking up at her with so much passion and love and tenderness. She kept stroking her face, but really it was the woman on her knees that held all the power. It's all a game, I said, a dance. The power exchange is complicated, which is why it's so hot.
Ooh. Ooh. He gets it.
He gets it.
Yeah.
So that's she learns that's where he got his
Yeah.
little kink. Okay, so cut to, they are having with her professor, they're having their 2-month check-in. So now we're 2 months in of their mentorship. They're having their 2-month check-in.
And they're like, we forgot to even do any
Yeah,
mentoring. Sorry,
I'm
we
sure.
have been
I'm
busy.
sorry, we've been fucking.
Yeah, I have learned a lot, but nothing about business.
Uh-huh. And so they're like eyeing each other, in this meeting, whatever. But really the mentoring shit has been going really
Yeah.
well because he's been helping her so much, and she's actually learning a lot from him, and she's like starting to be less combative with him and
Yeah.
like taking his advice and stuff.
Well, yeah, you bareback enough, start coming around to someone's ideas.
It's like, yeah. And so they leave the room and they're like walking out, and she's like, you really are an amazing mentor, but you're a better boyfriend.
Yeah. And he says, don't call me a boyfriend.
And he goes, say that again.
No,
You're an amazing mentor. And he goes,
you dumb
no,
bitch.
bitch, the second part. You're a better boyfriend. He's like, that's right, I am. And you're my girlfriend.
Oh, they're going steady.
They're going steady. Okay, so he convinces her there's an upcoming tattoo expo coming up, and he convinces her to open a booth there as a way to get her name out there, do some tattoos, blah, blah, blah.
Crazy that she wasn't already doing that, but
Yeah.
whatever.
Right.
But,
Not a business master. Anyway, and they like go there and they've got their 2 pit bulls. Meanwhile, after adopting Matilda, they're like taking their dogs everywhere with them, and it's so cute.
If your dogs get along,
Yep.
it's like a 101 Dalmatian
It's so
situation.
cute. So they're like walking, and she's like, the 2 little pit bulls walking in front of us. We just love them so much. Anyway, her parents come to the tattoo expo, and she tattoos both of them, and they're like, oh, Edward, we've heard so much about you. Why don't you come over for dinner? He's like, yes, let's do that. So a few days later, it's time for the family dinner, and he's walking up to their house, and Elliot calls him, or Edward calls Elliot, and it's just like, I need some help right now. Like, I'm going into her parents' house, and he's like, what have you told your parents about Roxy? I've literally told them nothing about her. They know nothing about her at all. And Elliot's just like, I don't like this man. You're in love with this girl.
Well, it's just that he's getting too deep in with Roxy without addressing the thing that he needs to address to be able to do this.
Right. And he's like, you need to be honest. I'm just telling, I got to say my piece. I don't like what's happening. You need to be honest with your parents. Whatever. Go
You're
have a
playing
good
it
night.
fast and loose with Roxy's heart.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, I know. So he goes and has dinner with her and her parents, and they just have like really good conversation, and her parents are just like, I don't want to speak out of turn here, but it sounds like your mom and dad are assholes.
Pieces of shit.
Like, you're very clearly a very good human being.
They're the reason that we left and came to the New World.
Yep.
So
100%.
that's what it sounds like.
This is America.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I know, whatever. So her parents albeit they are punks,
Mm-hmm.
have always been, it's like 1 a.m. and they've split like 3 bottles of wine and,
Hello.
you know, they're like, you should stay the night here tonight. You know, don't try to take a cab. Just
Yeah.
leave in the morning. He's like, and then they go, but we're traditional, so you and Roxy are going to be sleeping separate. You can sleep
So
in
you can't fucking wreck my daughter in the
in
guest
my
room.
house. Yeah.
Okay.
And so he is banished to like their garage is like where they practice, and they also have like a bedroom up there for people to do. So
Nice.
he's in the garage. And she sneaks out of her bedroom.
Obviously.
Yep. At like, she wakes like 30 minutes to make sure her parents are asleep. Sneaks out, goes up there. She's like, hi.
Hey. Hi.
And they're having a conversation at this point about what they're gonna do. Like they're, you know, the marriage clause. I said they want you to be in a nice, neat package to continue their legacy. A sweet woman who can have 2.5 children and ensure no tarnishing comes to the Cavendish name. He goes, yes, I know. I hooked my leg around his waist, making him closer, craving his body in his hands. What does that mean for us? I asked, noticing my own internal struggle. He goes, Roxy, darling, I'm not going to pretend that my relationship with my parents, especially because of the hotel, isn't a bloody complicated mess, because it is. But he took a deep breath. The past 2 months with you have been the happiest of my life, and I don't want my parents to be a deciding factor anymore. I want to be in control, to truly live my life with you. So he's saying this. He's like,
but is his actions gonna match his words?
We'll have to fucking see. That's the biggest
test.
And then they start getting after it.
Yeah, obviously.
Okay. Lifting her leg from my waist and pressing her back into the sheets. Show the boyfriend you broke the rules to see exactly what you do when you fuck yourself. She goes, maybe, but what's in it for me? She was such a fucking brat.
Ugh.
Take off those damn shorts, I snapped, and they were off in a second, flying across the bed, exposing her colorful legs. And bear cunt.
Oh, her BC? Oh my god.
She finally gave me a look of true submission. How do you make yourself come when you're thinking of me?
You read it like you're saying something bad.
I know. So then we get another
so she
hot.
Flicks the bean.
So she flicks the bean for him. And then they have sex, blah, blah, blah. She sneaks back out, blah, blah, blah. He leaves. Yeah, then we just get a lot of, like, internal stuff, like, oh my god, Roxy's so in love with him, he's so in love with her, blah, blah, blah. They're like, blah, blah, blah. Okay, cut to, next day, we're in Central Park. They're, like, laying on their blankets, they've got their dogs, they've got a,
beautiful.
Like, picnic.
Stunning.
Two looming shadows come
his
over.
Parents.
And she's, like, on top of him, like, they're, like, making out. It's his parents.
Well, it had to happen.
It had to happen. It had to happen.
We're at the end of the book. It had to happen.
There's like 10% left. His parents, blah, 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 we walk up on them making out. And he's like, oh my god, I thought you were out of town. And he's like, well, there's too much work to be done for the gala, Edward. We had to come back.
Edward?
Uh-huh. They look at Roxy and they look back at him and they're like, we're hearing that you still haven't contacted Phoebe. While Roxy's just standing there.
There's a woman on top of me that I was making out with, and you just said, well, you haven't
stammered to their feet at this point.
Well, still.
But she's just standing there like...
Yeah.
And...
Drama. That's what I would say.
And then his mom, like, drops to her and, like, looks from her feet to her head and is like, who's this, Edward? And he goes, this is my mentee from that program I volunteered for.
No, this is your girlfriend.
And his dad goes, oh, yeah, your little charity case project that you like to do.
Oh, my God.
And then Edward just looks at the ground, and Roxy goes, Edward, is there any other way you'd like to introduce me to your parents?
How would you...
And he just keeps looking down at the ground, avoiding eye contact. He doesn't say anything to her.
Oh my... I knew this was coming.
Yep.
I knew this was coming.
Yep.
Because otherwise it's like, not an interesting story.
Right.
But...
Third act breakup.
Shit.
I grabbed Busy Bee's leash, shoved my papers in my messenger bag. Roxy, Edward whispered softly, and when our eyes finally met...
Keep my name out of your mouth.
Out of your fucking mouth. And when our eyes finally met, his were filled with pain and yearning. Next to him, his parents looked shocked and anxious, already glancing around to see who might be noticing my behavior. I shook my head at him because it was too fucking late. He waited too long. You know, I might just be the owner of a failing tattoo parlor, I said, chin tilted in defiance. I might just be some charity case, but at least I'm not afraid. I swallowed against a lump of tears and I could feel them streaking down my cheeks. At least I'm not afraid to be who I am, who I really am, and to be honest about who I stopped myself. Edward looked on the verge of tears himself, who I was falling in love with. She runs away.
That's right.
Edward, like, sits on the bench, and he's just like, oh my god, he's, like, freaking out. He's like, what have I done? His mom's like, who the fuck was that? Don't tell me she's just your mentee.
Well, yeah, no shit.
He's like, no, I've been dating her. I've been seeing her for months. And she's like, well, you'll fucking break up with her right goddamn now if you plan on getting your inheritance.
I'm like, well, have you noticed I think I just got broken up with.
Right? She looks at him and she goes, as always, you couldn't even do this right.
I'd slap that bitch.
Bitch, for
I'm
real.
sorry. I'm not sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Backhand.
3 days later, Roxy's been ignoring him. He's calling her 1,000 times. He's left her a billion texts, and she's just like been sobbing for 3 days.
Yeah, I'm not taking his calls unless I get like 25 grand in my account. So
Yeah, I'd be so pissed. I would not answer the phone either. I
no,
wouldn't.
oh no,
I would, but I would cry for
oh,
3
I
fucking
would
days
be
straight.
devastated,
I would be
and it
distraught.
would take everything for me not to respond to the messages.
Everything.
And stuff, because I would have so many things I want to say that are like mean.
Yep.
And also,
I would still be thinking about the sex.
Yeah.
So her sister comes over and she's just like, "Listen, I know this is bad, but I really think you should give him another chance. What you guys have is like rare, and it's he didn't cheat on you. He didn't yes, he, I get it." She's like, "I get it. What he did is bad." But she's just like, "I just think you should give him another chance. I've never seen you happier the way you've been the past 3 months." She's just like, "I've seen this version of you. You got over your ex who's cheated on you." Like, she's just like, she's just saying, "I'm just saying, I think you should give him a second chance."
Okay, I know that I've said the exact opposite of what I'm about to say out loud before
Hey.
on this podcast.
Okay.
But this is like one of the times where I'm like, maybe you should meet up for closure.
Yes.
Because like the ending of
Let's
that
have a
was
discussion.
so
Right,
abrupt and like ripped off, where
Yes.
you could even be like, fuck you for
Well-
what you did, and you like need to know that I hate you.
Well, and he's been calling her like, "Roxy," like what he's saying to her on the voicemails is he's like, "We have to talk about this. We have to talk about this. We can't just not talk
Yeah.
about this. We have to talk about this." I agree. They need to talk about it.
Yeah, I would want it to, because I wouldn't be able to stop
The petty side of
thinking
me would
about
be
it.
like,
the petty
fuck
side of
you.
me is I'm punishing you by
Yes.
withholding my
100%.
like company.
100%.
And I
that's
hope
what
it
she's
hurts,
doing.
And I hope you
Yeah, and I
miss
hope you
me.
fucking cry
Yeah,
every goddamn
yeah,
night the way I'm
yeah.
crying every goddamn night. And I hope
Yeah,
you
and
fucking
for the rest of your life, you
Uh-huh.
regret me, and on your deathbed, you say, I
Yes.
could have been happy, but I chose not to be.
Yes.
But
You're right.
that's
But I think the healthy thing to do would be to give him a second chance
Yeah.
and let's talk.
not
to him.
even like the healthy thing. I mean, it is healthy, but just to like, I'm gonna be obsessively thinking about this if I'm Roxy
Yes.
until I get to like say
Yes.
my shit.
So even for you, yeah. Anyway, one more week goes by. Edward's been miserable. He still calls her every single day, routinely at like certain times, so she knows when he's going to be called, just begging for her to talk. Elliot takes him out. Elliot is like
Like with a gun.
Elliot kills him.
Elliot kills him because of he's a coward.
Uh-huh.
So
Elliot takes him out
Elliot's
and
a girl's
is just
girl.
like Elliot is. Elliot says, "Listen, man, I want you to know that I've met someone. I know it's been quick. I met him a month ago. I'm in love. This
We're
is the
gay?
man for me. We're getting married. We're in. This is like we're
Yeah.
fucking in." And he goes,
that's not gonna last.
"Not only that, but I told my parents that
Yeah.
I'm marrying him, and I wanted to believe that my parents would do the right thing
But
and
they did not.
tell me that's cool, but they did not. They disowned me.
Yep.
Or are going to disown
Yeah.
me."
So I'm flying on my own now.
And Elliot's like, "But I'm taking back my control of my
Yeah.
fucking life.
Yeah.
I will love who I want. I will do what I want.
Yeah.
I will not live under the thumb of these fucking sadistic
That's
fucks."
the whole thing. I can't imagine like having people that are like, well, if you do this, then like
You don't control. You don't tell me what to do.
I would just be like, don't tempt me with a good time. You know? Like
Because I'll be scheming.
well, it's like you're gonna be like, well, then you can't be a part of my life.
Mm.
Oh, okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, but the money.
Well, yeah, that's the whole thing. That's why it's just like, yeah, you have to fucking get to a point.
You're in
of
between a rock and a
adulthood
hard
that,
place.
Like you are fully dependent on yourself,
Right.
So that
Yeah.
people can't do that to you.
Obviously, Edward's like, "Wow," and internally thinking about this. Obviously.
Yeah, about how he's a coward and could never.
Uh-huh. And Elliot's like, "I have an offer for you. I want you to resign at your parents' hotel
Yep.
and take over as my role as president at the Logan Elliot's hotel."
Yeah, because his
And-
parents will be cool with him,
Yeah.
or Elliot's parents are fine with him.
Yeah.
That's weird.
And Elliot, his situation was slightly different. He does have ownership of his hotel,
Mm.
but his trust was different. He's still losing an inheritance.
Yeah, like he still.
But he wants to quit the life. He's like,
Oh,
"I don't want
he's-
nothing to do with my hotel no more. I want to run away." I think he said that him and his husband were going to go get married in Bali or something and live there.
Oh, must be.
He's like, "I'm quitting my life." So he's like, "I own this hotel. I trust you. I want you to be, so I'm offering this to you. So if
Oh,
you
so
want
like
it
he
out,
still can make money off the hotel. He just won't run it anymore. Like
He'll-
he's like a silent owner or something.
Elliot,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just trying to work out Elliot's plan.
I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
Because
He's
I'm
not
just
selling
like, I'm
it
like,
to
how are, yeah,
Edward.
he's just saying, you can
He's
come
saying,
run my
"I want you
hotel
to be president."
because I own it.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Okay,
like, I'm
that's
trusting-
way chiller for
Yeah.
him.
Edward's just like mulling this over. Meanwhile, Roxy's been, it's been like a week and a half, 2 weeks. Roxy's making improvements to her shop. She like took her shitty sign down that had busted ass bulbs, and she put a new sign up, and she's like got some cool
Succulents in the window.
No succulents. She got like cool punk rock art and all this stuff, and she's like starting to feel better. She's like, maybe, whatever, I've got a good plan in place, whatever. And it's another week goes by, and now it's the end of the mentorship, and it's time to give her final presentation. They have to give a presentation on what they've learned, give their new business plan, what they're going to do, blah 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 blah.
I learned that even if they say they love you,
they fucking don't.
They will leave you.
So
yeah, I've learned that love doesn't exist and life is bad.
Yeah.
Same.
So then we cut to Edward real quick, and he has decided he is going to take up Elliot's offer.
That's an amazing offer.
And he's going to tell his fucking parents off. I slid my hands in my pocket, grasped the letter. I won't be here next year to implement those improvements for your gala, I'm afraid. I slid the envelope across the table, directly between their half-filled glasses. And what is this? My father asked, sliding the sheet of paper out. My resignation as the manager of the Cartwright Hotel.
That's right, man.
If this is about that Roxy woman, my mother started, I cut her off. It is about Roxy, I said. But it's also about me. For my entire life, I made decisions that would fulfill your legacy, even when it made me distinctly unhappy. I loved this hotel, I said, surprised when my throat tightened. I loved this hotel and gave it everything I had for 10 years. You could have given me ownership at any time, regardless of that marriage contract. You could have given it to me because I'm good at my job and because I'm your son. So he just tells him off.
Good, they're going to give it to his younger brother, and his brother's going to run to the ground.
For no shit.
Yeah.
And then finally he goes, this is my fucking life, and storms out. Okay, Roxy's at her presentation, and it's going off without a hitch.
Yeah.
She's very eloquent. She's got a presentation
She's learned a lot.
She's learned a lot. She's got her financials. She's got a solid business plan. And, also she's looking out in the crowd to see if Edward's there. Ugh. She can't see him because the lights are so bright. Then once the presentation is over...
Can I get the house lights up?
Turn the house lights off for a second, please. After the presentation, she has to meet with her mentor and her professor. So she walks into the room. She sees Edward sitting there. The professor's not there yet.
Dude, that is so awkward.
He's got a bouquet of flowers.
I'd slap those out of his fucking hand.
You're so petty.
I walk in there, I slap those out of your hand, and I wouldn't address that I did it.
Nope. Just slap him.
Yeah, slap. Waiting for the professor.
So he hands them to her, and he's like, you were so fucking amazing. You did so fucking good. I saw the whole entire thing.
Slap across the face.
And the professor comes in and agrees and is like, you did fantastic. Don't even worry about graduating. Anything, like that was amazing. You're going to get your master's degree. You're going to graduate here and you're going to be walking on that stage in 2 weeks.
Woo, congratulations, Roxy.
And she's just like, oh my God, thank you so much. And she gets up and leaves, and Edward stays sitting because he knows the professor because he does this every single year. And the professor's like, oh, Edward, stay. And she's hearing this. And the professor goes, did I hear that you're leaving the Cartwright and you're moving to the Logan? And Roxy's like,
oh, what?
Oh, what?
Oh, can you love me now?
She goes, what does this mean that
you
he's
love
not
me?
under the rule of his fucking parents anymore? But she keeps walking. And eventually...
That's right, she keeps walking. Yep. One of these, fucking flipping them off on the way out.
She can hear footfalls behind her, and Edward's running after her. And he's like, Roxy, wait.
So he just left that conversation abruptly rude?
Well, he's just like, I did leave. I gotta go.
One moment.
And he's just like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And he's like, and she goes, well, you're too late, buddy.
Yeah, bitch.
And fucking leaves.
Should have been sorry in the park that day.
And he goes, so it's one strike and you're out? And she just keeps walking.
I said, yeah, it is.
So later that night, it's midnight. And he gets
I'm mad about that one strike comment. Sorry.
Well, I mean,
it's a strike. That was a strike.
You know what? You're right. Yeah, but
so what's the second strike? You hit me? Huh? Tell me, where does it stop?
Where does it stop? So she calls him at midnight, and he's like, yes. And she's like, I'm just curious. Did you really leave your parents' hotel? And he's like, I did. I left. I'm leaving. I've told them to fuck off. I'm not with them anymore. They're going to cut me off. Please, please, please just come see me. I need to see you.
You come see me.
And she's like, no, I satisfied my morbid curiosity, but I won't be talking to you anymore. Click, hangs up on him.
Bitch, got him good. Ooh,
and he's just like,
devastated. Crushed.
Well, no, he's like going crazy. Yeah. He's like, okay, this is not okay.
That's what I want.
He's like, I need to fucking
drive
fix
you
this.
Crazy.
Yep.
I wanted to drive you
Well,
crazy.
she's done it.
Yes.
And so he's like, what the fuck can I do? And so he goes to Fiona, her sister's law firm, and is like, Fiona, I need to fucking talk to you. And she's like...
I charge by the hour.
she's like, come in, Edward. And she goes, I'm not going to pretend like I'm not fucking pissed off at what
Yeah.
you did to my sister, you fucking little coward.
Yes.
And she's like, but I like you and she loves you, so I'm going to help you. And
one time.
And he's, this is it.
This is it.
This is the one
guess
time.
What? One strike, bitch.
Yeah. And
one strike. I'm so mad about that.
She's like, I have a plan. Cut to 2 weeks later. Roxy has graduated.
Yay.
So they're having like a block party. They like live in Queens.
Yeah.
So
cool.
like, yeah. So they're like old school houses, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they're having a block party. And it's the house that she's lived in her whole entire fucking life. So it's like they all know her. And they've got like a stage. Her parents are performing. Their friends' bands are performing. There's food, all this shit. Her parents get done performing and they're like, we want to make a toast. You know, congratulations to our sweet dear daughter. We love her so much, blah, 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 blah. And we would like to introduce someone special up on stage. And it's Edward. And remember, Edward can't speak publicly. So
okay.
Roxy is like, oh my God, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, furious is what I would be.
And then she sees Edward up on stage, shaking like a leaf.
Okay, sorry. That actually, I do like that.
Uh-huh.
I just think it's cute when men are weak.
Yeah. Same. She's like, Jesus, he's gonna literally pass out. And so he like gets on the mic and he gives this whole thing. I'll just give a few pieces of it. You know, he's like,
from the night I ate you out at the tattoo party.
Yeah.
I've been in love ever since.
From the night I had your ass.
First time I had anal with you, the night we met.
He's like, hello, my name is Edward. I don't enjoy public speaking particularly or ever at all. So if I faint up here, just fucking leave me. But before I faint, I wanted to apologize to you, Roxy. You see, I did something awful. I denied who Roxy was to me, what she meant to me. A woman I was and still am absolutely, positively, and completely in love with. His voice trembled. Someone booed him and he looked moments away from passing out.
Yeah.
And
I want to be the guy that booed.
And he's like, and I have, like, he's just waving. He's like, I have no excuse for what I did, nor should I. Really nothing beyond cowardice. I'm ashamed of my actions, blah, blah, blah.
That's right, coward.
I'm sorry. You'd be saying, you'd be like, oh, brother, this guy stinks. God damn it. I'm sorry, Roxy, for everything. No forgiveness required. I just needed you to hear those words and to tell you again how proud I am of you. Over the past 3 months, I've watched you blossom into a savvy businesswoman, watched you take on your role wholeheartedly, embrace all the terrifying change that comes from being in charge. He slid one trembling hand into his pocket as he gripped the mic with the other. You care deeply for your staff, deeply for your clients, and deeply for your art form that you create every single day.
Yeah,
and
those
attributes, more than any business plan or mentor, will make you successful. Thank you for letting me be a small part of that. And then
You're not welcome.
Walks off stage.
And they never see each other again.
Keeps walking. And she's happy. Like just standing there. And her sister grabs her and is like, hey, bitch. I don't know if you just fucking witnessed that shit show up there, but you need to fucking go after this guy. You've punished him enough. He's learned his lesson. You know you love him. Stop punishing yourself. Go fucking chase after him.
No, I don't wanna.
Yeah, but you would.
I don't wanna.
You don't wanna, but you would.
Not in front of all these people.
And that's what she did. She's like, fine.
I'd be like, no, I'm not impressed by that. I don't forgive him. And then
but you'd be lying to yourself.
I would wait, like, a beat for everyone to like turn away from me, and then book it.
Totally. But she runs to him, and
Edward.
He goes, life's too bloody short not to be in love with yourself, your choices, your job, and your soul. I'm in love with you, Roxy, and I have a sneaking suspicion that you're in love with me. And they make up, they kiss, they make up, and he's like, here, I need you to come somewhere with me right now. And she's like, okay, and they're all giddy, and they get in the cab, and they're like making out in the cab, and he takes her to his parents' country club.
Are they gonna shit on the lawn? They both
piss all over.
They both drop trow, and they squat and they shit on the lawn.
He's like, got her by the hand. He's like walking through, and he's like, I know they're sitting at this dining table, and he goes, and he's just like, this is fucking Roxy. I'm in love with her. She will be my wife. If you want anything to do with my life, you will accept her. She will be everywhere with me. If you want to be involved in my life,
they just go, we don't.
They turn around and walk away. His parents, they look so like unamused. His dad's like disgusted. And she's like, oh my God, Edward, thank you so much for doing that. You didn't have to do that. And then his mom comes running after them. His mom is like still kind of stony, still kind of cold.
Whatever, fuck
but
her.
She's like, I don't want to never see you again. And so she's trying to make amends.
Too late.
She's still kind of,
sucks that you want that.
Sorry. Yeah. But so there we go. They leave and it's great. 1 month later, her shop is having its grand reopening block party. And again, her parents are performing. Tons of fucking people are there. People are getting tattoos. It's a grand old time. And
flash sale.
Yep. Future's looking bright. Edward strolls in and Roxy's like, all right, are you ready?
They're
and he's
getting
like,
married.
And he's like, yep, I'm ready.
Surprise wedding.
Takes off his jacket, in his shirt and his tie and lays on the tattoo bed, and she starts to tattoo him, and he's like, finally, fucking took you long enough to tattoo me. And
now I want her to tattoo him everywhere, like
and I think that's
where you can't see.
oh,
You know?
And so he gets up and he looks in the mirror on his rib cage, and it says, "All hail Queen
Yeah.
Roxy." And he's like, "Oh, I fucking love it. This is amazing." And she's like, "Well, good, because I have something to show you." Takes off her shirt and looks in the mirror, and it says, "All hail King Edward." I'm like,
King Edward III.
hot. And he like looks at her and he fucking grabs her and he's like, "Back room now."
Yeah. Get out.
Get on your knees.
Let's go.
Yeah. And so they
Tell your parents to get out of here.
Yeah, they fuck like crazy after he sees her tattoo. I was like, "That's so cute."
That is so cute. Slap the tattoo.
And he's like, "Why did you get that?" And once they're done, and she's like, "Because I wanted to worship you as my king." He's like, "Yeah, but it's my job to worship you as my queen."
I do hate straight people calling each other king and queen.
This is the first time I've ever. Well, they don't actually call each other that.
I just mean in
It's
general
a worship
in life,
thing.
you know?
Do they call each other that?
Yeah, what do you mean? That's my king.
Ew, that's
Are
not
you
for
kidding
me.
me?
That's
Yeah.
not for me. Actually, you know what?
I hate that.
No, that's not for me. Epilogue.
Epilogue.
1 year later. Things are going great at the Logan for Edward. Roxy's stores open. They're doing well. Business is slowly improving. The outlook is
good,
positive.
yeah.
One evening, he strolls in. Mac's like, "All right, I got to take off." Edward locks the door, gets down on one knee, proposes to her.
Okay.
So they're getting married.
Then he
now.
knocks her up right there on the counter.
And then we have a bonus second epilogue.
Okay.
Sometime later,
Children. Marriage.
she's calling Edward and she's like, "It's about to happen. It's about to happen." She's starting to get up. He's like, "Fucking hold her down until I get there." They have a 9-month-old daughter.
And she's going to walk.
He's
for the
rushing
first
home.
time.
She's about to walk for the first time. He gets there and he sees her take her first steps, and they live happily ever after.
Beautiful.
Told you, classic romance.
It was classic. It was, I mean, like when you're like, oh, it's classic romance. And the way it started, I said, this doesn't seem classic romance to me.
Well, classic with a twist.
Classic with a twist. But yeah, the like romance
Yes.
of it is classic. Classic love story.
Classic love story.
Yeah. It's almost like star-crossed lovers or
Mhm.
like peasant royalty.
Yeah.
Thing.
Peasant royalty, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I got into it some, but the level of filth that comes out of his mouth, especially in that first 50 pages, the depravity is fucking amazing.
Well, they do a good job of like, he's so repressed in his like
Yes.
real life.
So repressed.
That he's just probably been stewing on all those thoughts
He
and
has
stuff.
been.
It is a little hard for me to believe that he would be that good at just like fucking crazy like that. Because
Yes.
it's like
Well, and
not easy.
She mentions
Like dirty talk in the moment is
not easy.
so hard to do. I'm so bad at it. I'm just like, yeah, fuck yeah.
Oh, dude, it's embarrassing.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, give me your whole like end of my repertoire.
Stop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I don't know what else to say. I'm like, yeah, suck my cock.
Yeah. Well, maybe you should read a couple novels because it'll give you.
I know, get some vocabulary in there.
Yeah, she mentions at one point she was just like, "I would have never thought that was your first fucking time."
Yeah, seems like you know what you're doing.
Well, he's been watching a lot of porn, and he'd been going to that sex club watching them.
That's true. God, I do want him to get like fully tatted up, like from like the wrists up. You know, like where you can't see it if you're wearing a business suit, but the second I think that's so hot.
I do too.
When
When
dudes,
they
like,
roll up
totally
your
straight,
sleeves,
and it's like,
and you're like, "What?
What
You've
the
got
fuck? Yeah,
tattoos
what
under there?"
this prison tatted dude, but like
Yes.
otherwise, like you'd never see it.
Yes.
I
Yes.
think it's so hot. Yeah, that was a good one. That was classic.
Yeah.
These are bangers lately.
Dude, I'm glad you like
These are
that.
bangers lately.
Yeah.
That
Do you
was
want
a
to know
good
next
one.
week?
Yeah.
Ice Planet Barbarians.
What?
Yeah.
I'm so excited for
You should
that.
be. Do you want to try to make a guess?
Yes. Okay, I have a
Okay.
guess. Oh my god. Yes, dude. Now that's giving me something to cook with right there.
Nice.
All right. Ice Planet Barbarians. This is what I think it's about. I think it is about a humanoid race, like explorers. Like we're looking at humans. That's the book. Like we're like, okay, these are humans. And they're on a space fucking ship and they're charting the galaxy. It's like a research vessel. Like,
Yeah.
you know, we come out, we check planets out for life, see what's going, just kind of check in, check out, whatever. No big deal. Our mission's just to like map. It's very Star Trek Enterprise type shit.
Of course.
I think
How could
that's
it not be?
Whatever. It's going to be about a like nerdy, Poindextery, scrawny kind of dude. Handsome face, but he's like not a worked out muscle guy. He's like nerd. Brains.
Okay, I can't picture it.
And he's like part of the research group, and like his job is to stay on the ship. Like the like field team goes down and it's like the big hunky strong, space marines, and they like protect the researchers while they get like samples and stuff. But this guy never goes down. Like he's freaked out of these alien planets. Like he likes to be in his lab researching the samples. He's not fucking getting his hands dirty. And then they're fucking going. They're going to their next planet, and it's a planet that is covered in ice age. They're like, oh, this thing like clearly has had variations, but at this moment in time, it is in a deep ice age. And so there's probably not going to be like a ton of life, but we are sensing, our scanners are getting some life, some mammoths, some whatever, some Arctic-y shit. So he's like, great, cool, whatever, we're going to stop over there. And on their approach there, tragedy. Asteroid, something fucking hits the ship. Wow, 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 wow. The ship's still good. But we are like, we lost some people. We lost some good men. Some of the tough ones, the strong ones. Some of the field team, like they were trying to patch it. They got sucked out. Like it was a whole thing. Ship's like, it's okay. It's not in the best shape. And now they're kind of just orbiting the planet they were supposed to go down on. And now there's like a little bit of like, the captain is like, we need to get out of here. Like we should not continue this research mission. Like if our safety, we should get back. We just had a thing. But then there's like the like defensive leader who's like a big dumb fucking asshole jock loser dick, and he's like, we're staying on this mission, like we are not aborting it, like we didn't lose enough people, like we blah 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 blah, and convinces the captain like, we're just gonna do this. And he's like, all right. Or like the captain, who's a lady, is like, all right, like, I'll try, we'll do this. You're right, we do have like orders from the whatever people that tell us what to do. And they're like, okay, well, we're going to go down here and we're going to fucking figure it out. But because we lost like some men and stuff, like the researchers have to come with us. Like we have to have a full party of people. Like we need extra hands. So our little nerd dude is going to have to go down. And so that's what happens. He goes down and they find an ice like barren place. They're finding saber-toothed tiger type shit,
Frozen?
No, like
alive.
The only things alive are like these woolly mammoth type like things that have adapted to it, but they're just like, all right, yeah, like this is fucking crazy. But then as they're going, they're like, we're not really finding any like intelligent past animal fucking things down here. But then I don't know, something's gonna happen. Nerd dude's gonna get separated from the group, and he's gonna be like, I'm dead, I'm gonna die out here in this like frozen tundra. And like as he's like succumbing to hypothermia, like whatever, he's just gonna like pass out. But like, the last thing he sees is like a humanoid
something grabbing
figure, and then he wakes up in a cave. Ooh. Next to a fire. Ooh. Next to a fucking like 6'2" Amazonian built lady, who's just like caveman grunting. And so whatever, they're gonna spend some amount of time together while he's trapped, and like he's like trying to set his beacon off, whatever, and maybe they're together for like 9 days or something. So they, come to have some understanding. A while. Enough to be like, I get the grunts. Like, even like we joke, we laugh sometimes a little bit, whatever.
They speak the same language?
They thug.
Oh.
It's like he starts to catch on to something and realizes he's like...
Did she have like 3 tits or anything?
No. Okay. Just fucking built. Okay. Neanderthal thing almost. Yeah. Like not quite like human yet. Like on its way. Okay. Okay. Though, whatever. So whatever, they have this little like thing and it turns like sexual, and then he starts
How could it not?
Yeah, and he's like
forced proximity.
Even like without words, like I just know what she wants and what she means, and they like, fall in love. And then eventually he does get like rescued by the defense team or whatever, and they find him, they're like, oh, what the fuck? There are like humanoids here, and then it becomes a thing where they're like, it turns out that the whole time this exploration mission, they had a secret
ulterior motive.
Yeah, secret mission that only like the defense dude knew about, really, and the captain knew it was there, but like has like a closed envelope that it's like, this is like something only classified for the defense guy, but in the case of emergency, like you would rip this open to know.
All right.
And that's how they find out about what the mission was.
Damn.
And really, long story short, the mission was that they were actually supposed to, like, they're
searching out
some kind of life form that was not as intelligent as they are, but intelligent enough that they could turn into slaves. Like they're gonna bring them and breed them, and they're going to be the working class slaves of their 100%, 100%. So whatever. Obviously, the whole time he's like, slowly teaches this barbarian some simple language, whatever. So then it just becomes almost an adventure. Like, of course they're fucking, they're falling in love, they're having all of these moments. Maybe we have some space love up top, captain, lesbian, first
Oh,
mate, they're
yes,
fucking,
please.
you know, there's a lot of sex going on throughout to like deal with the stress.
Yep.
But then the whole like climax of it is going to be like the barbarian comes back on the ship because now like the nerds that are against this like mutiny of the mission have to fight the defense people. Thank God we lost some of them during that asteroid thing, because now they're weakened, and then it just comes to like a showdown of like the nerd and the like captain of the defense thing, and then, you know, he's like trying to kill him, and then eventually the barbarian will be like save the day and like come strong arm beat the shit and like
it's
kill
a happily
him.
ever after.
And then
they get away.
Well, and then like they get away, and then at the end of it the captain is like, all right, like what are, you know, we're going back and we've got a lot to fucking report, and we need to like tell the press at our home planet about what they were trying to do, this like inhumane thing. And they're not from Earth, they're aliens, they're not from Earth, because it turns out that ice planet, that's Earth, baby.
Oh my
That's Earth,
God.
baby. And so he's gonna be like, I'm staying. And he's gonna stay here and stay with her, and she's gonna take him back to her like main like tribe, and like he's gonna help them like survive through the ice age. And then like those like cave paintings that like we would see that have like spacemen in them.
That's what that is.
That's him. Yeah.
Damn.
Maybe he helps build the pyramids. I mean, the times aren't matching up, but you know what I mean?
You never know.
You never know.
Well, it doesn't need to be in the future. This could be in the past.
That's true. Well, this isn't the past. This is Earth's past.
The past is the future.
They got there at our Earth's past.
Wow.
This is our Earth's ice age.
Wow.
And so,
damn.
That's what I think. Ice barbarian.
Ice planet barbarian.
Yeah.
What a great idea.
Right?
That's a good one.
The twist is it's Earth.
The twist is it's Earth. I have honestly no clue what it's about.
I wouldn't either.
I've only seen it all over TikTok.
It seems like a sci-fi.
Literally all over. I do know that it's like book 1 of 18.
Okay, yeah. Fire planet, fucking
totally.
Lava planet, wind planet.
But so we'll see.
What if that's exactly what it is?
That would be fucking wild.
I feel like that's a good plot.
Sometime one of your
is
guesses
going to be
the book.
And it's going to seem like I'm cheating, but
yeah, but you were not.
I can't wait.
We all know that you're not. Anyway, cool.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, that was a good one. Another episode.
Thanks, Doc.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
All right.
Okay,
bye.